went through this doorway into a container which was, on fire with gas being fed through a pipe, and we had to push the heat of the fire back with a hose opened up to a spray, And as we stepped through the door, the guy who was, controlling the hose behind didn't control it well enough, and it kinked, and the water cut off. The water cut off, bang, and we just heat, this wall of heat, Now I didn't panic. I ducked down and dropped to my knees, and I shouted back, "What the fuck's going on? We've lost pressure," And the other guy, because there's two is holding the hose, he let go of the hose and fucked off, and I'm holding this hose by myself, and I know that any minute now this pressure's going to come back into the hose. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to have to grip and hold on to that and hope that the water comes back on, and it did. I made that conscious decision. I could have stayed. Well, I was in, the firefighter's uniform, but I could feel the heat building up, as a flame, and the heat was fucking waving at us. But I made the conscious decision to wait there, because if we didn't do it, we failed. We had to get in there, push the wall of flame back, and turn one of those round fucking things, to cut the gas off, And I wasn't failing, I made a conscious decision. Did I make a stupid mistake to stay there in my big bum? No, I didn't believe it was going to be. I knew that it was something went wrong, but I knew the water was going to come back on. I believed in it, I believed the people in my team were going to sort the shit out. But when the water came back on, man, because it was in a spray, I didn't get forced and thrown about, because because it's in a spray, it's letting more water out than if it's in a jet. And conscious or subconsciously, I knew that. I knew I'd be able to hold the hose by myself, And eventually the other guy came back in and grabbed the hose and we pushed forward, But it's things like that. I mean, I made a conscious decision there, I know that was my free will. I could have dropped the hose and fucking ran out as well. I could have shit myself, I just don't know what Sam Harris and these people are fucking going on about, you know what I mean? When they say that, there is no free will. If you're sitting in some textbook fucking room with people connected to a brain machine that can scan, that know what's going on in their head and ask them to push buttons, yeah, maybe you can analyse just those one tiny instances, you know what I mean? But in real life, when things are happening, when there's fire going on and shit like that, I mean, some people can do it and some people can't, and that's a conscious decision. The guy who dropped the hose and fucked off, he made a conscious decision. He shit himself and fucked off, and I made the decision not to fucking drop the hose and run. That was free will right there. That was free will. Or what? I'm a fucking hero who's going to burn to death. You know what I mean? I'm one of these firemen who runs into a burning house. No. I assessed the situation. I knew we were in real danger, but I knew that to pass the test we had to do what we were there for, and I didn't believe that they would put me in a situation where I was going to burn to death. So I made the conscious decision to stay there and wait for the water to come back on, And I thought the guy who ran away, was stupid to run away. We were in fucking firefighters' quarters. We're not going to burn to death in the few fucking seconds it's going to take them to fucking get the kink out the hose. Although I didn't know it was a kink, all I knew was the water just disappeared, I did back up a couple of steps, but, and dropped my knees to get under the heat. It was cooler at the ground for a while, and that's another thing. It's my training. My training is, when you're in a situation like that, you get down as low as you can, because the heat rises, So I mean, knowing and understanding those things, okay, people might say, well, you knew all that stuff and therefore you were conditioned and trained. And I wasn't trained, I was going through the training, but I just remembered all that shit. And all that flashed through my memory, in seconds, and I did what I thought was the right thing. And we passed the fucking test because, we didn't run out the container, It's one of these metal containers you see on ships, container ships. There's a couple of them welded together with a step inside and some pipes at the end with one of those fucking turning fucking screw things that shut off the gas to kill the fire. You've got to cool it down with the hose and push the fire back and then turn the thing, it's just an exercise, But things like that, I believe that proves free will. Because who would stay in a burning container with no water and a hose that doesn't work, unless you thought that, there was a chance that you were going to, finish the job and had the will to finish the job. I don't understand what people at Harris are saying when they say there's no free will. There's choices you make in life. There's definite choices you make in life. And I've been in scary, frightening situations several times in my life, and I've made, as far as I'm concerned, I've made the right decisions to survive. And is that down to just me, being controlled by some universal fucking thing that says if you make this choice and that choice you'll live, and if you don't you'll die, I've been overboard in boats in the ocean, and survived, these are things that fucking happen to you, and you do what you've got to stay afloat and get picked up. I mean, I don't know where someone else gets this idea that there is no free will, no choices you could do. I mean, you can just give up, when something really seriously bad happens. You could just give up and say, well, that's it, I'm done, I'm just going to die. Or you can fight to survive. Are these not choices of free will? How do some people survive shipwrecks and plane crashes and other people don't? Those are choices. Even when you make choices against your morals, like people crash planes and eat the bodies against their Catholic religion, that's a choice. That's free will. Some of them decide I can't eat, and they just go and lie in the snow and die. Others decide they're going to break their moral codes and do what it takes to live. People in prisoner war camps, you've seen the movies, man, people who are being tortured and don't give up their friends. That doesn't come into free will. That doesn't come into it. I think it does, man. I think all these things prove that free will exists. I take them as absolute signs that free will exists. You do have choices to make in the world. And the people who sit on chairs and psychological and stupid fucking lecterns on stages talking about, philosophical ideas, yeah, they can talk all they want, man. But unless you've actually been through a real serious situation where, you really have to make a life or death decision, that's when you know that free will really exists. You are making those decisions because of stuff you know, or stuff you believe, or stuff you want to believe in, It doesn't always work out, but when it does, it's fucking great. And that's when you know what you are, what you're made of, what goes on up there matters. And it's not one of these crappy fucking mind games, you know what I mean? That either proves or disproves at one level your brain thinks faster or slower or differently from another, you know what I mean? And therefore that proves what? Does it prove anything? It just proves that we don't understand how the brain works. And these people have got no idea what free will is, if that's what they're comparing free will to. The fact that, no, your conscious mind doesn't think as fast as your subconscious mind. And thank God for that. If it wasn't for the subconscious mind, we would probably have died out as a species before the fucking, you know, what do you call them, the buffalo or the fucking mastodon, you know what I mean? Strange fucking bad motherfuckers.